who gave fake certificate. Where is Puja Khedkar?
That's the level of her entitlement and arrogance that she doesn't even answer to summons to the IAS Academy for further action against her for all the things she has been accused of. Imagine Puja Khedkar could have still been an IAS officer. She could have dodged all scrutiny but for her pathetic, disgusting VIP obnoxiousness. I'm Shiv, this is 5 Live. As always, putting the people's issues up front for you. The headlines first. Shocking killer civic apathy in the national capital is my lead story today. UPSC aspirant Nilesh Rai electrocuted to death after touching an iron gate in a waterlogged part of India's national capital. Modi 3.0 budget triggers war. India bloc MPs claim politically biased budget. Hold protest outside Parliament. Finance Minister retorts, says every state cannot be named in every budget.
In every budget, you don't get an opportunity to name every state of this country. Did Maharashtra get ignored because I did not mention the name of Maharashtra?
Rahul Gandhi meets protesting farmers in the national capital over MSP guarantee demand. Leader of the opposition faces flack, however, for staying conspicuously mum on mounting farmer suicides in Karnataka. It's my lead story at 5:30. Scam heat mounts on Sidhu Sarkar. Ruckus in the Karnataka Assembly as BJP demands Chief Minister's resignation over multiple scam allegations. BJP MLAs to spend the night in protest in the Assembly tonight. Another plane crash tragedy in Nepal. Kathmandu plane crashes before takeoff. 18 passengers killed, pilot grievously injured. Moment of deadly crash caught on camera. Viewer, I want you to take a very, very close look at the two pictures that I'm putting on my screen right now. These two pictures. That is young Nilesh Rai, just 26 years old. And that's his lifeless body sprawled in a puddle in India's capital, Delhi. Nilesh was fatally electrocuted in the heart of Delhi, and here's what he leaves behind. Nilesh was a UPSC aspirant. He had cleared the civil services preliminary exam and was also to appear for the mains just 2 months from now. This would be Nilesh's 5th attempt to crack the UPSC. Unlike many of his friends and flatmates, young Nilesh was determined to join India's civil services. He saw that as the only way to realize his personal dreams of contributing to a better India. And in his difficult journey towards that goal, he was cut down by an electric wire right outside the flat where he spent sleepless nights studying in the hope that he would crack the UPSC exam on this upcoming 5th attempt. Hailing from Deoria in eastern UP, Nilesh was far from home and a loving family, but determined that joining India's civil services was the only way to make him and his family move to the next level while playing a role in pushing India forward. Even death happened when Nilesh was working towards his dreams. He was returning from a library he visited daily to study when he moved an iron gate with his hand, something anyone would do in the place where they lived, in their mohalla, in their colony, only to be killed on the spot by a fatal jolt of electricity that had no business flowing through that gate. In that image of Nilesh's crumpled body lies the death of many dreams, not just his own. Nilesh had worked hard to pursue an engineering degree in Bengaluru, and then, despite excellent job opportunities, he became laser-focused, almost obsessed with joining the civil services. So who is to blame for young Nilesh's sickeningly untimely death? Were Nilesh alive, he probably would have chuckled at the irony of being murdered by the kind of thing he would have wanted to fix as a civil servant. Nilesh's death is not just the loss of a bright and promising young man, it is a ferocious indictment of the Delhi government's abject failure to ensure the safety and well-being of its citizens. It is a reminder of civic rot, civic negligence, and civic apathy that borders on the murderous. This isn't an isolated incident, but a symptom of systemic negligence that demands immediate and unequivocal accountability. Nilesh Rai was not just another UPSC aspirant viewer. He was a symbol of hope, of hard work and perseverance. His life was cut short, just 26 years old, not by fate, but by blatant disregard for basic responsibility that the Delhi government owes to each and every one of its people. Why was Nilesh's death preventable? Was it preventable, you're wondering? The answer lies in the government's chronic impulse, the Delhi government's chronic impulse to shift blame and it's not us attitude towards public safety. Whether it was inadequate healthcare facilities, lack of proper infrastructure, or failure in ensuring a safe living environment, the government in Delhi has failed on multiple fronts, on multiple crises. Nilesh Rai's death is a direct consequence of this incompetence, and it's high time the authorities are held accountable. The Delhi government has been quick to pass the buck, blaming everything from bureaucratic hurdles to federal oversight. This deflection is not only infuriating now, but also a stark reminder of the pervasive culture of evasion and irresponsibility. Try giving Nilesh's parents the usual political excuses. Nilesh's lifeless body has evoked a wave of public anger. The viewing public wonders, on a broad level, what we pay taxes for, why politicians across parties duck all accountability when they cannot even ensure a safe city to live in. And this is India's capital we're talking about. Nilesh Rai may be dead. His personal dream may have ended. But do we allow the politicians to just wait for the story to blow over? Or do we ensure a dead UPSC aspirant gets the justice that he deserves?
Civic apathy takes yet another life, this time in the national capital. 26-year-old Nilesh Rai was electrocuted near Patel Nagar metro station in Delhi on Monday. Nilesh suffered electric shock after he touched an iron gate in a waterlogged area. Incidentally, a live wire was in contact with the gate. Nilesh was rushed to the Ram Manohar Lohia hospital, where doctors declared him dead. The accident took place on the lane in front of his PG accommodation.
बारिश हो रही थी और वो लड़का जा रहा था और मैं थी तो मैं कह रही यहाँ आसपास तो कोई नजर नहीं आ रहा था कि चीख है हमने इधर देखा पहले मैंने कोई किसकी चीख आई है यहाँ किसकी चीख आई फिर हमने ऐसे देखा उसको जाके तो वो इस पर दोनों हाथ उस पर चुपके हुए थे.
You can see the road behind me. This is barely an hour's rainfall and there is water that you can see seeping out. There's very bad and poor drainage system that we have already seen in the national capital. Adding to that, when there are loose wires that are hanging out, taking the loss of lives of people, it's an extremely serious issue, posing a question to the authorities of the national capital of the country. Is this how people are supposed to die? Isn't this a bare minimum on the part of authorities and government to ensure that before the onset of monsoon, proper checks and balance are done, that there's no loose wire hanging, there is no such electrocution situation that could actually happen out of it? These are the basics that you expect out of a government, because if that is something that they are failing in, they're failing a lot of people over here.
Nilesh had been preparing for his fourth attempt at the UPSC exam. While he couldn't clear the preliminary exams the last 3 times, he did so this year and was studying for the mains. A civil engineering graduate from IISc in Bangalore, he hailed from Ghazipur in Uttar Pradesh. His demise has left his family shattered.
लोग कह रहे थे कि बिजली विभाग को फ़ोन किया गया, हाँ, किसी ने फ़ोन नहीं उठाया वहाँ पर. आधा घंटा तक पड़ा रहा, आधा घंटा तक जिंदा था. और अगर उस समय अगर तुरंत रिएक्ट किया होता बिजली विभाग ने, रिस्पॉन्स किया होता तो शायद बच सकता था।
The Delhi government has ordered a probe into the incident.
इस पर एक इंक्वायरी ऑर्डर करी गई है। मैंने चीफ सेक्रेटरी को आदेश दिए हैं कि इस पर जांच भी करी जाए कि कौन जिम्मेदार है इस प्रकार की घटना के लिए, और दूसरे एक्स ग्रेशिया रिलीफ के लिए आदेश दिए।
Over 10 days, a woman was electrocuted in similar circumstances in Delhi. 26 people died in nearly 50 incidents of electric shocks last year in the capital city alone. The rising deaths have, however, had no impact on an administration in slumber. With Shreya Chatterjee and Himanshu in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And the Delhi government has become a past master, as you've noticed, especially if you live in Delhi, viewer, of shifting the blame. No matter what the crisis that visits Delhi, and believe me, there are many, it's always somebody else's fault. Take just a few examples now. Waterlogging, which is the result of a lot of rain, and that's what actually resulted in Nilesh Rai's death because of those electric wires. The Aam Aadmi Party government has blamed maximum flooding happening in NDMC areas. That's the New Delhi Municipal Corporation, which they say is under the BJP-led centre, which is true, but it's also a symbol of not taking responsibility. After all, Delhi is under you. The water crisis, chronic water crisis, the AAP government says water supply is blocked by the Haryana government. You even had the water minister sitting on a dharna for this. Pollution, which is a terrible period of Delhi's year, which happens, just around Diwali. Stubble burning in Haryana and UP, which the AAP government had promised to solve, which they haven't done so far. And finally, flooding. Again, the excuse there is water released into the Yamuna by the Haryana government. The impulse is always to finger point away from the government rather than say, we are in power, we will take responsibility and we will make things better. Not once has that happened. So we're wondering what excuse will be there this time with Nilesh Rai's death. The questions we're asking, who is responsible for young Nilesh Rai's death? Who will explain to his parents? Or will it be the same old excuses? Will heads roll for Nilesh's death? Will it be some small fry in the Delhi Vidyut board or some other small agency? Or will someone in a genuine position of responsibility pay some kind of price? Will the AAP government pass the buck on Nilesh's death like they have with so many other things in Delhi? And the biggest question of all for the people of Delhi, because this happened in Patel Nagar, a central part of the national capital, is Delhi a death trap for all? Is everyone vulnerable to dying a meaningless death as part of an urban decaying system in the national capital? Shreya Chatterjee has been reporting relentlessly on the Nilesh Rai death story since early this morning. Shreya, has any action been taken so far? We know an investigation is on. We heard the Aam Aadmi Party minister. We have to say accidents can happen. It's difficult in a city as big and complicated as Delhi. But this is a symbol, once again, of urban rot, urban decay and political apathy.
Well, absolutely, Shiv. We haven't really seen any action as of now, apart from an FIR that has been registered by the Delhi police since morning, because I was here. I saw the Delhi police come, they checked one of the dangling wires, they cut the wire and took it as evidence. But as you were rightly saying, that can we really call this an accident? Because it doesn't look to me on the ground. Because Shiv, if I can give you a picture of this exact spot where Nilesh actually died, you can see how the gutter over here is broken. This is precisely why, while he was walking in the lane, his leg slipped in the gutter and he had to hold this iron gate. So it's not just about electricity passing through an iron gate, it's also about your basic amenities like gutters lying broken, because of which people lead to such unfortunate incidents. So this is no way an accident, this is a death trap, this is a responsibility of the authorities on the ground, because in this very location, Shiv, there are several students who study. If this is something that we cannot offer in the national capital, God forbid the rest of the part of the country then.
The Aam Aadmi Party government has, announced an investigation, etc. But, this is clearly not the first time something like this has happened, Shreya. It's only a reminder of how dangerous things can be anywhere. You know, the place where a young Nilesh died is a very common kind of residential mohalla that all of us are familiar with. This could, this has scared people because it can happen to anyone.
Well, absolutely. And I spoke to a lot of students. They said that some of their parents suggested that please come back. This is absolutely not safe, because just to give an understanding, yes, this looks like a lane, but it's barely a 10-step walk from the Patel Nagar metro station, which is one of the most busiest metro routes in the central Delhi region. So clearly you can understand that if here we can see the condition of the roads and wires dangling like this, then the rest of the part of the Delhi must be in a very difficult shape. And only when such incidents happen, we see authorities suggest that action will be taken, but those actions never really meet any end.
Thanks very much, Shreya. Keep tracking that story. Justice for Nilesh is not something that we're going to be taking lightly. There is nothing that's happening on the ground to suggest that the system is moving into top gear to ensure that something like this doesn't happen again and justice is served. But what is really the point? I wanted my viewers today to also hear from friends of Nilesh Rai. Remember, Nilesh lived with other young men who were also taking competitive exams. Nilesh had decided that he was going to continue with his attempts to crack the UPSC. This was his 5th attempt. He had cleared the preliminary exams. He was going to take the main exams in just 2 months. Shreya, you've got some of Nilesh's friends with you. What are they saying about this?
Yeah.
Whatever is asked.
I think Shreya's given. Can you hear me, sir? Dashrath, can you hear me?
You're not patched?
Dashrath, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
Okay, Dashrath, you were a friend of Nilesh Rai.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, I'm here.
You were a friend of Nilesh Rai. Can you
Yes.
tell us about, what your thoughts and what your sentiments are right now? You have lost a friend. We are all feeling very, very angry about what we're seeing on our screen right now. Tell us about what happened and tell us a little bit about Nilesh.
Exactly, sir. What has happened is very tragic moment. We aspirant fraternity, we are here to show some sort of solidarity, and we need some sort of support from the authorities as well. And what has happened, sir? It was around afternoon 1:30 p.m. and it was raining, and at the same time Nilesh was passing over from that particular gate, and there the incident took place. At the same time, he was screaming, and no one was here, and I was about to hear his voice, and we started switching off the lights and all. But we tried to reach the authorities over here, particularly the electric board of Delhi and police as well, and particularly ambulance. Their situation, their response was very pathetic, and they are not even able to talk to us what has happened. They are failed to even talk to what has happened here, and we are struggling to reach out them, and by that time he has died, and later on the police came over here and started investigating the things, but it is a injustice and a grave injustice on part of authorities as well, sir.
Dashrath, multiple things you have just said right now, paints a very, very disturbing picture about the state of India's national capital. All of you are youngsters living in Delhi. Many of you are from outside Delhi. Even Nilesh was from Uttar Pradesh, and he had come to Delhi, to try and crack the UPSC exams. You are talking about the open sewer. You're talking about the electrified gate, ambulance not coming on time. Multiple things have gone wrong, which shows that infrastructure and administration in the city is completely broken.
Exactly, sir. This is what I was mentioning, that it is a grave misuse from the authorities as well. They are unable to even talk to us, and they are failed to even reach reach the authorities as well.
Tell us a little bit. Yeah, you want to get some voices from some of the other friends around you. Go ahead, Dashrath. We can hear you.
She can hear me.
Yes, madam, if you can hear
brief
me.
everyone
Yes,
about the
go ahead.
NCRB reports. Yeah, I can.
Yes. Go ahead, ma'am.
As we can see the statistics of India through the electrocution death. Through the electrocution death, we see that approx 32 people die every year, and the approximate ratio for an year is about 12,529 deaths per year. And it is very shocking and it is very pathetic to know that the country like India is promising, with a promising note, it is not able to even sustain a death. Even we cannot avoid the accidental death like this.
And this is
the
India's
justification
national
of the
capital,
electrical
madam.
department
This is
and
Delhi.
Yeah, exactly. This is the national capital of the country, and we are witnessing such kind of incident without any proper medical facilities. Also, we see the problems, and these were the preventative causes that could be avoided with the help of the electrical division of Delhi. But it was not avoided. Also, the roads are not as such that
absolutely.
they sustain the rainfall, and the drainage system is so pathetic for that.
Ma'am, I wanted to talk a little bit about Nilesh. Did you know Nilesh personally? Was Nilesh one of your friends?
Nilesh was one such guy living over here besides my building. And after we heard that news, we were in the library and we were shocked to know that such an incident is over here. We are also students. We have arrived from different states and different parts of the country.
Yeah.
And we did not expect the capital city, the capital national territory of India to be as such. We are also students. Our life is also a significant part of our family and friends.
What would you say to the Delhi government right now, ma'am? What would you say to the Delhi government right now? Because Dashrath, who is standing next to you, said, nothing worked. Ambulance nahi aaya, the sewage, the road was not fixed, there was electric wires that were endangering people's lives and finally killed young Nilesh as well. What would you say to the Delhi government right now?
I have just one question. Is this justified? Is the life of a student is not an important resource? Being in the capital country, capital territory like India as such, being over here, and he was an civil services aspirant, as we all are. I want to raise a question to the Delhi government that these are the health facilities, these are the medical facility also. The police, I want to question the police of Delhi that
yes,
why didn't they come at the proper time? I want to ask the question to the electrical division of Delhi that why there were absence and lack of the people, the water logging, the drainage system.
Absolutely.
All the mess is over here, all combined and gave the result like this.
I want to thank all of you for speaking to me. I'm almost out of time on this particular segment, but it was very important for me to put the spotlight on the Nilesh Rai story, because he's become the face of what urban decay, urban rot and civic apathy can actually do, especially in the hands of an administration that claims to be working for the people, that claims to be efficient, that claims to constantly be on its toes to make a better national capital, but in the end is only found shifting blame and looking for excuses. Remember this face, viewer. You're going to be seeing it on my show and here on India Today repeatedly through this week, because young Nilesh has not died just his own personal dream. Like I said, the dream of millions has died. He was 26 years old. Never forget him. Well, we're speaking about a young UPSC aspirant who died needlessly, meaninglessly in a puddle in waterlogged Delhi. Well, here's an update on the other UPSC candidate who's been making national headlines here on India Today and in the national media. A crackdown has been ordered against doctors and other officials who allegedly issued fake disability certificates to Puja Khedkar, the IAS fraud, who allegedly used false certificates to penetrate the Indian Administrative Service. But it's worse than that, because Puja Khedkar, who was suspended from her training after India Today exposed her dubious actions, was asked to report to the IAS Academy in Mussoorie in Uttarakhand for further action. Yesterday was the deadline and she still hasn't shown up. Imagine that, viewer. Puja Khedkar doesn't give a damn. She hasn't shown up when she was asked to. Take a look. Suspended IAS probationer Puja Khedkar, accused of using false disability and quota certificates to get selection into the UPSC, has missed her deadline to report back to the academy in Mussoorie. Puja was ordered to return by Tuesday, but sources confirm the academy has not received any communication from her. Her whereabouts, amazingly, are not known and her phones are switched off. The investigation into the Puja Khedkar case, first taken up by India Today, is intensifying. An inquiry has now been ordered against the doctors and officials involved in issuing false documents that allowed Puja Khedkar her alleged fraud. In 2019, Puja Khedkar first obtained a visually impaired certificate from an Ahmednagar hospital in Maharashtra. In 2021, she obtained a mental illness certificate from the same hospital. In 2022, YCM Hospital in Pune issued the disability certificate to Puja Khedkar, which stated that she had a 7% permanent disability in her left knee. She also approached the government hospital in Aund to get a certificate for more disabilities, but this time her application was rejected. The investigation will now focus on how such certificates were issued and who facilitated this fraud. As the investigation deepens, the focus now is not only on Puja Khedkar, but also on the systemic failures that allowed such a fraud to occur. But the question now is, where is Puja Khedkar and how has she brazenly decided to miss the deadline of reporting back to the academy for further action? With Omkar Wable in Pune, Bureau Report, India Today. Divyesh Singh, who's been at the front line of tracking this story, joins me live from Mumbai. Divyesh, what are the authorities saying? This is not some minor issue. Puja Khedkar and her family have multiple cases against them. She had been ordered by the government to report back to the IAS Academy. Yesterday was the deadline. What's going on?
Shiv, Puja has failed to report back to Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration in Mussoorie, and when contacted, sources over there have said that Puja has communicated with them that due to some personal reasons, I emphasize on that due to some personal reasons, Puja is unable to report back to the academy. On 16th of July, Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy of Administration had kept her training, district training, on hold after several allegations or several facts regarding malpractice in her candidature for UPSC came to light, after which she was recalled at the Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy. She has failed to report back to the academy. There are multiple investigations going on. Remember, the DOPT is conducting an investigation. The Lal Bahadur Shastri Academy is conducting investigation. Pune police have been asked to investigate regarding the disability certificates that were used by Puja Khedkar. Also, now it has come to light that the facts which she had brought to light, or which she had conveyed, that her parents were divorced, that is also under investigation. So there are multiple investigations going on, and everything just points out that how Puja Khedkar had conducted several, there were several irregularities in her selection to the Indian Administrative Service.
We're going to keep a very close track on that. A whole day of lapse, she still hasn't shown up. Her mother is in jail right now, in custody. Her custody has been extended, but the daughter, who's at the center of this entire scandal, Puja Khedkar, has basically cocked a snook at the authorities and the government and said, I will not meet your deadline. This IAS fraud has said, I don't care about your rules. I will not show up when I'm asked to. We'll see how much more of a long rope the authorities, the government, is giving this IAS fraud and her family. We'll keep a close watch on that. We're taking a very quick break. Coming up after this very short break, scam after scam, heat mounting on the Siddaramaiah government, with the BJP upping the ante. It plans to spend the night in protest in the Vidhan Saudha tonight. We'll tell you all about that next.
क्लियर टैक्स पे टैक्स फाइलिंग है नेक्स्ट लेवल ईज नेक्स्ट लेवल ब्रीज क्लियर टैक्स इधर नहीं तो किधर
क्लियर टैक्स पे टैक्स फाइलिंग है नेक्स्ट लेवल ईज नेक्स्ट लेवल ब्रीज क्लियर टैक्स इधर नहीं तो किधर
Just came around to say hello. I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
The India Today Media Institute believes in training students in independent and critical thinking so they can better analyze the world around them. The training at the ITMI is rigorous and multimedia with an aim to provide top-notch media professionals.
Register now at www.indiatodaymediainstitute.in or call on 9560065465.
The NEET suspense finally ends. There will be no retest for 24 lakh aspirants. The Supreme Court in its verdict said that there is not enough proof to indicate a widespread leak in the examination. The Apex Court also scrutinized the data submitted by National Testing Agency and IIT, which indicates that there was no mass leak of the question paper. The Supreme Court noted that 155 aspirants were direct beneficiaries of the breach. CJI D.Y. Chandrachud said a retest would have serious consequences and may cause disruption of admission schedule and affect the course of medical education. The court has tasked the NTA with making the decision on the retest held for 1,563 students. The opposition has called for an overhaul of the exam structure.
You have to deal with the malady. Why is this happening? Do we need another structure in setting up an examination? How do we deal with these examinations? All these things have to be looked at. So the issue is not what the Supreme Court has done. We welcome whatever the Supreme Court has done. The issue is, why is this government deeply involved in these kind of scams?
ऐतिहासिक जजमेंट के बाद फिर कहूँगा सत्यमेव जयते। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के सामने आज हमारी पक्ष रखते हुए ये भी वचन दिए हैं, जीरो एरर एग्जामिनेशन सिस्टम बनाने के लिए प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी की नेतृत्व की सरकार कमिटेड है।
While the NEET UG re-exam demand denied, the online counselling procedure for undergraduate medical admissions is expected to commence from Tuesday. Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
आज जितना लोग बोल रहे हैं, आज जब उनकी पार्टी केंद्र में थी, हम तो 10 के बाद से शुरू किए हुए थे। लगातार सब जगह कितना आंदोलन, पटना, दिल्ली, कहाँ कहाँ नहीं कितना हुआ सब आप जानते हैं। और हम लोग कर रहे थे, लोग जितना काम करवाए उसको देखने के लिए आए, सहमत नहीं कराया। 14 के बाद तो लोग फिर अलग हट गए, तो नहीं कराया कि तुम भी कोशिश किए थे। लेकिन हम इसके लिए लगातार बोलते रहे और इन लोगों को भी हमने कहा। तो अब एक बात हो रहा था, विशेष राज्य का दर्जा पहले से खत्म हो गया है। हम लोगों ने ही कह दिया कि विशेष राज्य का दर्जा दीजिए या विशेष अधिकार के लिए मदद दीजिए। यहाँ के लिए जो जरूरत है बिहार के लिए, क्योंकि बिहार को भी आगे बढ़ना है। तो बहुत कुछ किया है, आप जानते हैं कैसे बुरा हाल था पहले का। जब हम लोग 5 से शुरू किए हैं, नवंबर 5 में, तो जो इतना काम करते हुए अब जहाँ देखिए ना कितना जगह पर जाने का रास्ता बना है, कितना ज़्यादा स्कूल बना है, कितना एक एक नए नए चीज़ों का निर्माण हुआ है। अब पटना का ही देखिए ना, शाम के बाद कोई बाहर निकलने के लिए जाता था।
तो सर आज जो घोषणा हुआ उससे आप खुश हैं ना?
सुनिए ना, सब कुछ किया गया। तो हम लोगों ने शुरू से कह दिया था ये या बिहार को विशेष तौर पर मदद करिए इसके लिए।
हमारे साथ हैं केंद्रीय मंत्री और टीडीपी के वरिष्ठ नेता राम मोहन नायडू।
नमस्कार।
जिस बात की उम्मीद थी वो उम्मीद पूरी हुई?
उम्मीद पूरी हुई, पूरी तरह से संतुष्ट हैं। बहुत खुशी की बात है। केवल ये आप तेलुगु देशम की तरफ से मत देखिए, 5 करोड़ आंध्र प्रदेश के लोगों की तरफ से देखिए। जिस तरह से हमने चुनाव में एनडीए की सरकार राज्य में और केंद्र में भी बनाया, हमारी सोच यही थी कि केंद्र सरकार से इस तरह की मदद हमें मिलना चाहिए। उसको पूरी तरह से नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने वो एश्योरेंस को पूरी तरह से उन्होंने निभाया, वो दर्शाया आज बजट के रूप में। तो इसके लिए हम दिल से आंध्र प्रदेश की तरफ से प्रधानमंत्री जी को धन्यवाद देना चाहेंगे।
सरकार की तरफ से तो अनाउंसमेंट हुआ है, लेकिन आपने फिर बजट को बड़ा फाइन रीडिंग भी किया होगा। क्या बड़े जो है अनाउंसमेंट इस बार आंध्र प्रदेश के लिए केंद्र की तरफ से हुए?
तो सबसे बड़े अनाउंसमेंट में से था कि आंध्र प्रदेश को अमरावती कैपिटल रीबिल्ड करना चाहिए। ये रीबिल्ड की बात क्यों आती है? सबसे पहले चंद्रबाबू जी ने अनाउंस किया था अमरावती में कैपिटल बनेगा। बहुत सारे किसानों ने लैंड भी डोनेट किया था उस प्रोजेक्ट के तहत। तो जब जगन रेड्डी की सरकार बाद में आई, पिछले 5 साल तो जगन रेड्डी की सरकार थी आंध्रा में, जगन रेड्डी ने पूरे अमरावती को बर्बाद कर दिया, इतना नुकसान पहुंचाया। एक तो किसानों की जो एग्रीमेंट थी उसको पूरा नहीं किया, और ऊपर से कैपिटल का जो इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर ग्रोथ होना चाहिए था वो भी नहीं किया, और पूरी तरह से शमशान की तरह बना दिया उसको। तो लोगों के मन में था कि हमारे एक शानदार राजधानी बनना चाहिए, वो अमरावती में होना चाहिए। इस सोच के साथ उन्होंने इलेक्शन में भी वोटिंग किया। तो उसके तहत हमारे अमरावती के लिए 15,000 करोड़ का स्पेशल असिस्टेंस उन्होंने डिक्लेयर किया था।
Viewer, in the 15 months since the Siddaramaiah government came to power in Karnataka, a staggering 1,182 farmers have committed suicide in the state of Karnataka. The reason you're hearing about it only here on India Today isn't just because we broke the story, but also because these farmers who've taken their lives in abject desperation aren't really convenient to a loud, duplicitous ecosystem that has made farmer distress and the farm protests literally a global issue just a few years ago. You remember that. So how come this very influential and voluble ecosystem, both online and offline, has gone completely silent on the farmers' suicide wave in Karnataka? Remember that number, 1,182. These are the families that are left behind. Just 15 months. Now, you already know the answer to the question of why this ecosystem is completely silent, but allow me to get into it a little deeper. This shocking spate of suicides in Karnataka has been attributed to severe drought, crop loss, and overwhelming debt. This is a state where agrarian distress was an election issue aggressively raised by the Congress party last year in a campaign that delivered a landslide result, and deservingly so. But the leadership, which includes a party president who belongs to Karnataka, hasn't said one single word about these suicides as reported by India Today. And remember, it's not India Today taking these figures. These are government figures, government of Karnataka figures. The farmers who they claim to stand for and stand with on issue after issue are all gone. They're in their graves. They've been cremated, not given the dignity of even cursory acknowledgement. They've been forgotten after the elections. The story of the 1,200 suicides broken by India Today's brave reporter Sagai Raj has totally exposed the political double standards over farmers. The disgusting duplicity and two-faced cynicism over agrarian distress. The opposition ecosystem rises like a tyrannosaurus when the farmers in question are convenient to the political narrative against the central government, but when they aren't convenient, like the poor dead farmers of Karnataka, then simply look the other way and pray that nobody notices. Just today, for example, the Congress leadership met with a delegation of farmers from Punjab and Haryana, as you can see in these pictures. But isn't it strange that they haven't said one word about the Karnataka farmers who've committed suicide under a Congress government? 1,182 suicides in just 15 months. Nor has the Congress leadership said a word about the Karnataka police arresting 200 farmers just today protesting the Karnataka Industrial Areas Development Board land acquisition in a place called Devanahalli. How come nobody's talking about that? I thought farmer distress was a key issue for the Congress party and the opposition. These are precisely the issues that the opposition said it would fight. The opposition had crafted itself as a champion of the agrarian cause, and very good that it did that. But it has dropped the 1,200 dead farmers of Karnataka like garbage. Many things stand totally exposed today, viewer. And this is not about attacking the opposition. Remember, the Congress is the ruling party in Karnataka. 1, politicians only use farmers when they are convenient. 2, this silence has exposed a selective solidarity and a stark hypocrisy on an issue that these leaders have whipped up emotions over. Now they can't squeeze out even one fake tear for the dead farmers. In fact, they question whether they are farmers at all. Now let's be clear about one thing. It is commendable, and I will say this over and over again, it is commendable for the opposition to stand with farmers on issues of principle. But it is equally important to be consistent in their advocacy, regardless of the region or the political implications. By failing to address the farmers' suicides in Karnataka, to even acknowledge it with the same vigor as the protests in the north, the opposition appears to be prioritizing political optics over genuine concern for farmers' welfare. The farmers see it, the public sees it. If the welfare of farmers is truly a priority, then it should be addressed uniformly across the country, irrespective of whether the state is governed by the Congress or the BJP or the Trinamool or whoever. The silence on Karnataka's agrarian crisis suggests a political strategy aimed at capitalizing on the central government's perceived failures while conveniently ignoring similar issues in opposition-ruled states. In BJP-ruled states, if there is agrarian distress, there should be the same amount of ferocity that is now so sorely lacking on this story in Karnataka. Voters are increasingly aware and critical of double standards in political advocacy, clear from the results of June the 4th. If a party hopes to regain the trust and support of the agrarian community, it must demonstrate a commitment to addressing farmers' issues uniformly and sincerely across all states. Right now, for all the song and dance over solidarity with the agrarian community, the handshakes and the backslaps and the jappies with farmers from Haryana and Punjab, let's not forget, 1,200 Karnataka farmers lie alone and abandoned in the ground.
The scam cloud on Siddaramaiah government intensifying. After multi-crore Valmiki scam and Muda scam heat, BJP has accused the Sidda government of another financial irregularity. BJP has alleged that 600 crore rupees have been allocated to an organization called the Karnataka State Habitat Centre in Bengaluru in violation of the Karnataka State Transparency Act. BJP has accused the Congress government of transferring funds to a private entity at the behest of Minister Zamir Ahmed. The funds, as per BJP, were diverted from the Kalyana Karnataka Development Board.
Every month, so many scams is emerging. Estate Development Corporation scam, Muda scam, and Labour Department also. Even High Court has taken state government to task. There are a number of scams which has emerged. Now we are addressing estate development as well as Muda scam. Let's see, we'll take this forward.
The opposition, meanwhile, wrote a letter to Governor of Karnataka claiming a glaring funds bias, accusing the Karnataka government of giving the lion's share of 5,000 crore rupees Kalyan Karnataka Region Development Funds to Congress Minister and MLA, and depriving funds to opposition lawmakers.
Not only Kalyana Karnataka, throughout the state we are not getting the funds. I don't know why. There are 224 constituencies. All the constituencies should get the money. Only Kalyan Karnataka, definitely what they are asking, they're right. I am also demanding the development should be taken place in all the constituencies equally.
Earlier, the ED, probing the Valmiki scam, had a face-off with the Karnataka government. Siddaramaiah government accused the ED of pressurizing a social welfare development official to name the CM and arrested ex-minister Nagendra.
The ED officials forced Mr. Kalesh, who is the Assistant Director of Social Welfare Department, to tell that, forcibly tell them, asking him to spell out the name of the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister, and the Minister.
But in a setback to Sidhu government, the Karnataka High Court on Tuesday stayed probe against ED officials in crosshairs of state government. While the Valmiki scam involves siphoning of multi-crore tribal welfare ministry funds, Muda scam involves land allotment irregularity charge on Siddaramaiah's wife. With Sagai Raj and Anaga Keshav in Bengaluru, Bureau Report, India Today.
And we've got breaking news coming in. Scam heat continues to mount on the Siddaramaiah Sarkara in Karnataka. The BJP is raising the temperatures, upping the ante against the Congress government in Karnataka. A ruckus has erupted inside the Vidhan Sabha, the Karnataka Assembly, with calls going up for the resignation of the Chief Minister. Remember, it's going to be a night of drama. BJP MLAs will be holding an overnight sleep-in protest inside the Vidhan Sabha tonight.
ಸಾಲಿನ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಧನ ವಿನಿಯೋಗ ವಿಧೇಯಕವನ್ನು ಪರಿಹರಿಸಬೇಕೆಂದು ಸೂಚಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಈ ಪೂರಕ ಅಂದಾಜುಗಳನ್ನು ಜೆಡಿಎಸ್ ಅವರ ಕಡೆ ವಾಲ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ಹೇಗೆ? ಒಂದೊಂದು ನಿಲುವಲ್ಲೂ ನೀವು ಕೂಡ ಆಡಳಿತ ಪಕ್ಷದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ.
I'm leaving you with these images of the brave Indian military at work. In this case, an Indian Navy chopper crew that was summoned to rescue a critically injured Chinese mariner on a merchant vessel 370 kilometers off the coast of Mumbai. These are the pictures of that dramatic rescue from a Sea King helicopter. Salute to the pilots, salute to the crew, and thankfully the mariner is safe.
To say hello, I'm so fly. You took a nosedive. Careful when you play on my level. For you it's so. Hey, hello.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.